Please, no more fast forward information dumps. That's my impressions of the 6th episode of the Idaten Deities Know Only Peace. So let's jump into it. Yeah, like I said, a lot of... Well, it wasn't as bad. Well, I guess it was technically as bad as the last episode. Just a lot of these fast forward information dumps as we find out pretty much what we were speculating last week, that yes, indeed, this seems to be some kind of indication that the Demon Lord is an Idaten. Now, not only that, it got a little more interesting than that with the explanation, in that the Demon Lord himself, Obami, does not know seemingly who he is or what he is. It seems to be that where they lay it out is that behind this seal that is holding all these demons in it, the thoughts and the cries for salvation of these demons themselves were basically was basically this kind of hot pot to create what is this Idaten, or at least what we speculate as Obami being. But not only that, but it gets even more crazy in the idea that at least Yeasley is speculating that not only that, but also the thoughts of the Idatens that sealed it themselves have become a part of this Idaten. It's almost as if they're claiming that all of their knowledge and thoughts of these Idatens that all sacrifice themselves mixed in with the demons themselves, all these thousands of demons that were sealed away, all created this Idaten. And this Idaten himself is, again, kind of trapped behind this seal or this barrier, and that's why Obami, that we see, is this android that is being kind of controlled because he's only able to project his own mind to it. Which, again, is one of the reasons why they think it's an Idaten, is because he has this sense of being able to use his mind. He's able to hack into their system that's not even connected to the internet. All of these things that kind of speculate that this is an Idaten that's almost kind of disconnected from the world, that is somehow able to project himself onto this android, this Obami. Which that itself pretty much creates the fear of what's to come, because, like I've said before, we need a threat. There's no real kind of threat in this world. And now we've pretty much established at this point, this is an Idaten that is far more superior than anything else that's in the world. They're afraid that even Rin herself is not a match for this, because if it has the knowledge and everything of all these Idatens that sacrifice themselves to seal away this thing, this is going to be possibly a very powerful Idaten, and that's a huge threat. So, pretty cool little reveal there. They kind of mentioned the idea that also that them being sealed away is... This is one of those weird things, because you have all of these Idatens that essentially sacrifice themselves for no reason, is what Yeasley is kind of insinuating, that they create this seal to last for hundreds of years, 800 years at this point, and the demons supposedly should only last 1 year. Because they did apparently a scale model of it and put a bunch of cockroaches in it, and those cockroaches didn't last very long. They were dead because they starved. And the demons themselves would starve as well after about a year. I don't know how he knows that they would starve after a year, but he does. So it implies the idea that whatever's behind that seal doesn't matter. But now, unfortunately, what's behind that seal is an Idaten. So they still need to keep that seal up because they don't know when it can break and this Idaten could be loosed. Again, the question mark is since Obami doesn't know who he is or what he is, he does not know that all he has to do is break that seal and he'll become whole. So I think my theory is that at some point Miku's going to figure this out, because obviously Miku has a strong ability to kind of see through things. She's already kind of trying to figure out Obami himself. And if she continues to observe, eventually she'll probably figure it out, and then she'll suggest, well, we need to break the seal and you'll become whole. And that's going to make it extremely interesting. Obviously Yeasley is preparing for this. He thinks that Protea should continue to kind of train Hayato. They figured out this whole thing about how to project their weight. So apparently to make themselves stronger, they have to essentially imagine that their fist or whatever has a higher weight than their actual body. So Paula figures that out really quickly because she already knows how to do that to stealth around. Hayato has to figure that out. He seems to figure it out, so that's all good for him. But yeah, they Yeasley really does want them to kind of start. Well, Protea basically asks Yeasley, "Do you want to fight this? Do you want to fight this demon lord?" And he's like, "No, I don't really want to, but we're gonna have to," kind of thing. It's an eventuality, and so they have to kind of prepare for it, and that seems to be in that. Possibly eventually have like how they suggest the idea of training Hayato and stuff just because they don't want to have to tell Rin. And if Rin does break the seal and they kill this demon lord, Rin's no longer going to be tethered to that seal, so she's going to be wandering around, and that does not make Prontea happy. Yeah, it seems like he easily kind of feels the necessity to go see the other nation, Sarabel. So him and Paula go to see them. At the same time, we're seeing this kind of transition to this church where this guy is talking to all of his soldiers, which seems like this Sarabel place is very kind of focused on religion and prosperity. It also kind of shows a quick glimpse of the nun again. She's still playing out for help. And we also got a quick glimpse of Brandy, who she's pretty much been designated as their only hope at this point. The Zobel Empire is down to just Brandy. Brandy's the only person that can basically fight for them. So they're basically telling her, look, you're our last line of defense. And so she decides to actually go and tell 3 of her children to essentially take somebody and flee. Now, she claims it's to the idea of, we need some demons to survive, so you're going to leave. But they're like, well, why us 3? So, apparently her maternal instincts kick in, and she wants to protect those 3. So it was very interesting to kind of see them, I don't know, I guess go out of their way to not only show these 3 children that are leaving from Brandy, but also to point out their names and the names of those that they choose to go with them. So it seems like it's putting a lot of emphasis on these 3 children and their pairings, that obviously they're probably going to be significant in the future in some way. So it'll be interesting to see what actually comes with that. Yeah, and we also got to see one of Miku's hidden powers, which is her post-climax observation skills. Wow, they get very interesting with Miku. That's for sure. But yeah, that's my thoughts on episode 6 of Idaten Deities, No Only Peace. Hope you guys enjoy my impressions. If you did, leave a like down below. Comment, let me know what you thought of the episode. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share this video if you can, and support us on Patreon if you can. And y'all take care.